Hello, Dr. Briscoe here. I'm a teacher at Suncoast Community High School in Riviera Beach, Florida. We're on topic 2.5 today, checks on the presidency. This is the third video on this topic, and we're looking at skill 1.E of the concept application practice. This is the last skill in that practice, and so it's going to be critical for you to be able to use the skill well to answer those concept application FRQs as well as multiple choice questions. All right, so here is our lesson overview and our topic overview. Explain how political principles, institutions, processes, policies, and behaviors apply to different scenarios in context. So what will we learn? You will be able to do this explaining, and I've got it laid out here where you can see 1E at the bottom, but you should be able to do those things before you get to 1E. That is the describing, explaining, comparing, describing in context, and then explaining or applying in context. And those are different things. And you can recall from lesson 1.5, Ms. Hitchcock did demonstrated the skill, and I believe she was using a Shirley Chisholm speech for that. So we're back there again and just going to walk through the tasks that are associated here. So we're over here at the end with the explain with my graphic here, and concept application FRQ. We've talked about what that is, and you usually are going to find it typically in the B and C point of the concept application FRQ. That's where you would typically find it, but it could be somewhere else. You want to be able to show that you understand the content, and so that is explaining ongoing impact of political negotiation. For example, compromise at the Constitutional Convention on the development of the constitutional system. Those are examples, and so that are examples of you applying this skill of explaining how political principles, institutions, processes, policies, or behaviors have an impact. All right, so on the content application FRQ, we've got the flow chart here. Don't get caught up in the details other than know that there are going to be steps for you to take, and you're going to need to make sure that you have an understanding of what you're being asked to do at that particular time. Otherwise, you can get yourself tricked up and you'll end up losing points. All right, so the task verbs for the concept analysis, we've got identify, describe, define, and explain with some course example samples there. Relation, explain means to tell why or how we classify events, processes, interact, or relate, cause, or effect over time, similarities and differences between concepts, behaviors, institutions, and the rest of the list there. So reasoning, but we're using skills like classifying, being able to determine cause and effect. Those are skills that political scientists use to get an understanding of a lot of things that are happening in the political world. All right, so you want to reconnect to the skills that were in topic 1.1, video 3, reading the stimulus, reading the prompt, and then rereading the stimulus, and then annotating it. And this is when you've got that time to do that on the own. So we're going to practice answering part A. You're going to do that on your own. And so just notice here, and you would be able to pause and read this through, that A and B are both asking you to do the same thing, and those are skill 1.8 tasks, the identification. One is for the 2 formal of the president and 2 formal of the Congress. All right, so remember, identify means to name. That's all you've got to do. So I have named some here for formal constitutional powers. They'd ask for 2. Okay, I put 3. Just in case one of them maybe is not quite correct, that might be a way to think about kind of covering yourself there. And then 2 that are formal for Congress and making foreign policy. All right, so we looked at the formal powers of the president as well as Congress relative to making foreign policy. So now we're on C, and we have listed out here the informal powers of the president. Now you only needed 2, and like I said, I tend to go overboard just to make sure that I have not missed anything. And when the readers are looking at this, they want to, maybe you did miss something. If you've got some more there, then there will be a chance that you will have something that is correct there. All right, so we're going to practice the E point. You're going to do that on your own. When I go to the next slide, you're going to see the answer that is there. Okay, so explaining how the principles, institutions, processes, and policies apply to different scenarios. We've got explain and what that means. And then I have listed out, going back to C. I went back to C, saw what I put there, and then for each one, I did the explanation, making known to how or why something happened. So bypassing Congress, that's what you can do with an executive agreement, persuading the public, calling for a press conference, having access to media that Congress doesn't. So I matched up what I had put down in C for this particular part here. And you want to just note that there is a distinction between skill 1D and 1E. And you want to make sure that you understand that distinction, because if you go ahead and do your explaining in 1D, then you won't have anything left to do. And I see sometimes students will just repeat what they had in D because they've already explained it there and they've missed the description. They kind of mashed it up together there. All right, so don't do your explaining with your description. Understand them as 2 distinct things, and you'll be sure to get all of the points that are available there. So what should we take away? In reviewing the concept analysis FRQ, you want to just take a look at the slide when you've got some time, and it's just kind of walking you through how to make sure that you get all the points there and are focusing in the way that you need to for this type of FRQ. So we're back to the beginning with the skill 1.E, the end of the concept analysis skill tasks, and then we are finished. So thank you, and I will see you next time.